Hello, everyone. Cinephile Mike, your friendly neighborhood cinephile, is here, and I hope everyone had a nice 4th of July. Today is day 34 of Oscar Rewind 2024 edition, my bi weekly series of videos where I revisit films that reflect the earlier work of this past year's Oscar nominees and winners. As always, I'll be discussing the awards history for the film, the box office information, the critical response, and as always, these reviews are spoiler free. So today, how great! This week's episodes were on July 2nd and July 5th. 2 plus 5 is 7. And episode 34, 3 plus 4 is 7. And in the month, simply enough, today I am discussing New Line Cinema's thriller, 7. Written by Andrew Kevin Walker, Seven marked the second feature film directed by long term music video director and current 3 time Oscar nominee David Fincher. Released in the fall of 1995, the film was a box office success, according to Box Office Mojo, with a reported budget of $33 million dollars and making a total of $100,125,643 domestically and $227,207,916 internationally for a worldwide box office take of $327,333,559. Now, on Rotten Tomatoes, the film is certified fresh with an 83% critical rating based on 146 reviews and has an audience score of 95% based on over 250,000 ratings. So, how does 7 land on Rewind this season? Well, for those who have seen this, remember those creepy sets and murder scenes that are investigated? That's why. 4 time Oscar nominated production designer Arthur Max received that 4th nomination this past year for the palatial estates and war zones that were depicted in Napoleon. And when did he get his start? Well, as per IMDb, his first production design credit was on 7. Also, little known fact because sometimes thrillers aren't always recognized come Oscar time, 7 is actually an Oscar nominated film on its own, where Richard Francis Bruce was nominated for Best Film Editing, ultimately losing to Apollo 13. In addition to the Oscar nomination, Walker was nominated for Best Original Screenplay at the BAFTAs, and the film celebrated multiple nominations and wins at the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Film Awards, with nominations for Best Action or Adventure Film, Best Actor for Morgan Freeman, Best Supporting Actress for Gwyneth Paltrow, Best Director for Fincher, Best Music for Howard Shore, and it won 2 Best Writing for Walker and Best Makeup for Gina Ann Black and Rob Bottin. It was also named Best Movie of the Year at the MTV Movie and TV Awards. And also, I would be remiss, and I apologize for anyone that's offended, but again, we're talking about the film, not necessarily the people. But there were also several nominations and wins for supporting actor for Kevin Spacey. But please, again, I ask, don't let the personal feelings, we're here talking about the film, not the people. So, getting into it. 7 opens with a beautifully edited opening credits sequence, which alludes to what we will spend the next 2 hours watching: a series of murders linked to the 7 deadly sins from the Bible: gluttony, greed, sloth, envy, wrath, pride, and lust. That will play out over the course of 7 days. At the start, we have the appropriately named Detective William Somerset. Get it? Summer? Set? Played by Morgan Freeman, who is 1 week, or 7 days here again, from retiring when he is sent to investigate a murder scene of an obese man with the word gluttony spread on the wall. Working with newly transferred and now assigned to be his partner, Detective David Mills, played by Brad Pitt, they will begrudgingly work together to solve these. Somerset wants nothing to do with this case. He just wants to retire at the end of the week, but his captain, played by a criminally underused R. Lee Ermey, keeps him on, and Mills, chomping at the bit for a big case to prove himself he's all ready to go. Now, the next day, they investigate another murder scene with the word greed. And as the week continues, Somerset will get to know his partner Mills a little better, and we'll also become introduced to Mills's wife Tracy, played by Gwyneth Paltrow. And as these two relationships grow, Somerset with Mills and Somerset with Tracy, he sees that he has more in common with them, and he will end up, in a way, almost becoming a confidant and a mentor to the two, despite his best efforts to distance himself from everything going on. And as the week goes on and the clues build up, Mills makes a random comment while they're out, which I won't spoil here, which will then lead Somerset to use less than honorable means. So we kind of see the underside to this honorable cop that we believe we have to get information which will inevitably lead them to the killer, who has been named John Doe, lead them to the killer's apartment before he can complete the seven. And a tense showdown will result in our detectives going after Doe and then redirecting the film. We go an unexpected journey and we end up with what has been named one of the most twisted and shocking endings in film history as Somerset and Mills go after John Doe. That's what's great about this film. It flips a lot of the tropes that you expect in similar styled films with, the killer being revealed too early on and leads to an interesting and tense third and final act. It's an ending that even if you haven't seen this film, chances are you've probably heard this one discussed. Walker crafts a unique thriller brought to life by the gravitas of Freeman, who absolutely shines as Somerset and provides a groundedness that seems to anchor Pitt's performance that sometimes goes a little bit over the top. Also, Spacey, worth saying, provides a fine level of creepiness in the role of John Doe. No pun intended there. Paltrow, I should reference, she's okay. She's fine. There's just not as much for her to do. Her subplot and some of her character kind of seems crammed in, so she doesn't have too much to do. And while the script has, some moments of feeling underdeveloped and some of the motivations of the characters seem a bit pithy or underwhelming, the film is still an engaging watch, especially because there are several times when you think it's going to go one way and then we go a different way. Fincher has a style that he has developed over many films that, can take sometimes even the most extraordinary moments and elevate them to those more grandiose experiences, like he did in films The Social Network and Mank, two biopics that he was able to raise into circumstances that seemed almost unrealistic. And the quick editing keeps the audience engaged as you go on this journey with Somerset and Mills as they go from murder to murder and do your best not to feel fringy with some of those sets and effects. And, again, kudos to the reason why this film landed on Rewind. Arthur Max, even though and even through the screen, these shots, which I have to say, well, I don't want to say it's gorgeously shot murder scenes. I mean, Darius Kanji's cinematography is really stellar in how the way that these scenes are shot that are so disturbing, even more so, it seems more artistic and engaging than what we've seen in some of the Saw franchise. And it's a well done film. It evokes a response when it needs to, and as certain moments play along, you know what? Let's say it. Three-time Oscar winner Howard Shore, his score in this film will definitely leave you a bit unhinged and a little uncomfortable at times, all for making a more enjoyable theatrical experience. All in all, Seven is a great, creepy thriller of the mid 90s, which provided several other wonderful films in this vein. For me, Seven is a solid 4-star film. It has a little something for everyone in that vein. You have the horror, you have the action, you have the suspense. It's all there. Now, unfortunately, if you would like to catch Seven, for a while it was streaming on Max, but as of this recording and posting, it is not streaming anywhere now. It is available for rental via most digital platforms, so that is how you are going to have to go about seeing Seven. Although I do believe I could be wrong. There may be a Criterion edition, but I don't believe so. I think it's other Fincher films that have had that treatment, but I'm almost sure that Seven might not be that far away from it. So there it is. I hope everyone has been enjoying Oscar Rewind. We're getting almost to about the halfway mark of the Rewind season before we jump into award season again. As always, if you like what you heard here, please click and subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on all social media platforms. engage. Let's talk films. What are the films that you're hoping that I'm going to see or that you want to see on Rewind? Is there a film you want to see by one of the other nominees I haven't hit yet? Let me know. You can shoot me a comment. You can message me through my website, cinephilemike.com, where you can also go to find exclusive movie reviews. This weekend, I have something for both the families. I'll have a review coming for Despicable Me 4. And for the horror fans, we get the concluding chapter of Ty West's X trilogy, Maxine. Happy watching, everyone. And until next time, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.